Chapter 3. The Origin of Viruses. This microscopic particle is found all over the planet, found in stagnant water accumulations, ranging in size from 20 to 300 nanometers, Lodish 2000. Viruses play a role in the carbon cycle and attack other marine elements to destroy them, and are responsible for about 20% of microbial destruction. A virus has various stages of existence. When it is outside the animal cell, it is wrapped in a capsule that protects its material containing its information to reproduce. When it is inside the animal cell, it uses the living particles of the cell to multiply. Thus, a virus, once it has entered the body, goes to look for the cells with which it has a chemical attraction. Then it will attach to its membrane to penetrate the cell. Once inside, it will get rid of its membrane to inject a viral genetic substance and take control of that cell, to give birth to viral particles named virion. The animal cell has the ability to reproduce other animal cells by respecting its own genetic program. For example, an intestinal cell to reproduce will make intestinal cells identical to the previous cell. Likewise, the lungs will make lung cells respond to their genetic information in order to ensure physiological balance. The virus will take the instruction of the cell to create its own viral material at the expense of the body, thus creating a physiological imbalance causing disease. The virus is a tiny particle, unable to be seen with the naked eye and unable to be observed under an optical microscope. According to the phylogenetic branch, they were present as soon as the world existed and evolved over time to become more virulent. Their mode of transmission can be vertical during a sexual act, or horizontal, when the pathogen of which is transmitted from one person to another by secretions from other roots. Sauerbrey 2000. They can transmit different genetic material to the first strain, and this is called a mutation. General Microbial 1957. The virus performs a horizontal transfer as the virus begins to infect another individual. It can transmit a different genetic material to the primary strain that is called mutation. General Microbial 1957. It is surprising that the human body harbors more than 3 billion viruses that live in harmony in the intestinal tract under normal conditions. More than 8% of the human genetic material comes from retroviruses. Viruses also play a role in gene therapy to treat certain genetic diseases, replace certain defective genes, and destroy certain cancer cells. According to believers, if the viruses are found in nature, it must go back to the evolutionary period, according to scientific research, or its origin dates back to the decay of humanity. If viruses are not aged with civilization, but they still remain a burden in our lives, how could we have lived with them? How should we live with them? For example, the herpes virus attacks humans and remains dormant in the human body, specifically in the spine, and when conditions meet, it attacks its host. The AIDS virus remains in the body, dormant under the influence of antiviral drugs. Once the drug effect is exhausted, it bounces and begins its replication. It is known that some viruses that attacked humans in the past are not dead. We see the onset of viral influenza every year, and we are powerless to eradicate it. Science tells us that even the human genome contains viral particles. If the virus is so strong, can we look for a way to live with them and create a symbiotic relationship? We need to know how to use medical diplomacy against viral elements. Those who research viruses once they understand their behavior within the body should look for strategic ways to camouflage the organism. Scientists will use the weapon of diplomacy, the weapon of medical negotiation, and even the weapon of self-destruction. Lwoff, 1959. Thus, weakened particles can help our defense to make antibodies to resist the next attack and to banish the vulnerability of humans.